Summary of the book, How to Be Creative? Think, Live, and Work More Creatively. Written by Harriet Griffey. Since creativity is not limited to a specific specialty, perhaps you are creative in music or drawing. True creativity means learning how to live your entire life in a creative way. It is not specific to a specific group of people, nor is it related to talent or distinctive genes only, but it is an integrated process that can be learned and mastered by anyone, regardless of the circumstances. In fact, the only way to advance your life is to acquire the right knowledge that gives you the ability to be creative and stand out from others, and that is what you will learn in this book. You will learn all the scientific methods, strategies, and suggestions that will help you unleash your creativity and make your life more enjoyable and beautiful. So let's go on an explosive journey. Your practical and personal creativity. Chapter 1. Creativity helps us change our lives by opening up other successes that we did not know about. Imagination is the first spark that can ignite your own creativity, and it is the source of all the excellence achieved by artists, novelists, and inventors. Imagination helps us look at things in a new way, which makes us come up with ways in life that are unfamiliar to us, and this helps us deal with any problem, because facing problems is the true generator of creativity. In order to face problems, you must stimulate the right side of the brain, which is the part that specializes in imagination. Then you leave room for your mind to discover the appropriate solutions. "She is my neighbor," said businessman and politician Sir John. Creativity is not his doing, it is a preoccupation. He innovates, controls, and determines if she is the one who makes us clear and entertains us. Creative imagination helps us think outside the box to produce new and unusual ideas. Our different ways of dressing or dealing with others also indicate the creative skills we possess. The basic task of creativity is to help us discover what we love about us and what we possess as elements of success, and to know our hidden abilities, and then add our accurate observations and what we have learned from our own experiences to these abilities. In order to be creative, you must look at things differently and from various angles. For example, children are surprised by the shape of a tea strainer, and because they do not know its usefulness, they throw it on the ground and do not pay any attention to it. However, after observing the way adults use it, they begin to form a new idea about it, and then they realize how to use it and its true benefit. We also have to learn from the way children do, so we should not judge something before knowing it well, and allow our minds to think differently than they were before. This is what the international painter Picasso did in his international sculptures, as he changed the usual way of thinking about them, then combined the idea of humans and animals, and replaced the parts between them, to bring us new statues that did not exist in his time. Chapter 2. Psychological factors and the environment surrounding us stimulate the development of creativity in us. A rich imagination helps us evoke different emotions, especially when new, unexpected ideas about something pop into our minds. Imagination helps you live the experience, even if you don't practice it, while the experience also stimulates these unexpected ideas. As a result of the application of imagination and experience, these ideas stimulate the building of new connections in the brain. To put it simply, if you have the information and tools to play a musical instrument, that is not enough to create new things, because everyone can have the same information and tools that you possess. But if you add to that you're listening to different musical notes and practicing playing this instrument while trying a number of different methods, then you are helping yourself discover unexpected things, because you are developing new neural connections in your brain. These new neural connections help us develop our talents and link different information together to produce new and creative knowledge. The more you engage in this process, which includes collecting information and increasing neural connections, the more creative material you will possess, and the more and stronger you will charge your brain with its connections, as information is without neural connections. They will remain isolated from each other and have less value than information that is properly linked. This confirms that innate talent requires work and diligence in order to develop, in addition to the fact that our way of receiving information determines the nature of the creativity that we will obtain. Those who rely on the visual aspect in obtaining information tend to express their creativity by scribbling, for example, while hearing people tend to be creative in the musical field or everything related to sounds. The Husians express their creativity either through creative dancing, or they may become creative craftsmen. The mind is also divided into right and left sides, each with its own function. The function of the right side is related to visual perception as well as spatial information that we perceive with our senses, while the left side tends towards language and logic. However, despite the difference, they do not work separately, but rather work together in order to gain experiences. And the production of ideas and creativity, and in general, creative people are naturally curious, so let us learn about the importance of curiosity and creativity in the following chapter, Chapter 3. Asking many questions makes us get to know ourselves inside. Creative people are curious, so they ask a lot of questions, such as, what can I do to get from point A to point B? Such a question stimulates the mind's imagination, allows it to come up with many unexpected solutions, and keeps it busy with whatever helps it grow. A designer once said, "Creative decoration. Crawford, I'm led by my curiosity." American writer and poet Dorothy Parker said the cure for boredom is actually curiosity. It is difficult to become creative without the quality of curiosity that leads you to ask a lot of questions. For example, if you look at the Mona Lisa and start wondering, who is she? Why does her smile look so bewildered? Why is it such a famous painting? Then you begin to think and answer those questions. In this case, you allow your own ideas to emerge, ideas that will inevitably surprise you, but this does not mean that you should deprive yourself of times of rest and boredom, as such times stimulate daydreams that can give you a comprehensive plan to solve any problem or achieve any goal, but on the condition that you allow it to flow without interrupting it. It is also good to constantly change your lifestyle and routine. For example, you can read a new book, write your daily diary, or talk to some strangers. It is better to spend some of your time with distinguished and inspiring people who ignite in you the energy of action to do something creative, or even feel positive feelings about something creative. Now, let us know who is responsible for producing creativity, the conscious or the subconscious mind. Chapter 4. Creativity is formed from connecting our feelings and experiences to the subconscious mind during times of rest. Entrepreneur and Apple founder Steve Jobs said creativity is just connecting things. When you ask creative people how they did something, they feel a little guilty because they didn't actually do it. They just saw something, and that means that creativity does not require inventing something that does not exist, but rather the ability to connect things that already exist to each other in a new way. No one has ever done it before. It is a mistake to think that there is one solution to every problem, and this is often the result of our limited ideas about something. But try to solve any problem in more than one way, and look at it from more than one angle to allow your new ideas to emerge away from your current perceptions. You can also find an idea that contradicts the idea you formed previously. This process is called cross-pollination, which mixes ideas together and puts contradictory ones against each other, with the aim of coming up with a completely new idea. One of the most important conditions for creativity is discipline and commitment to doing what you believe in. So, you have to practice the same action over and over again until you master it. If creativity is the secret to work, then in order to be creative, you must read, write, draw, or tell stories. The important thing is to do something that stimulates inspiration that greatly stimulates creativity. Pablo Picasso emphasized this when he said inspiration exists, but it must find you working. It is also helpful to postpone creative decisions until another day. Neuroscientists have found that deep sleep and dreams help unite with subconscious thinking, which in turn produces important ideas and solutions and connects unrelated ideas. On the other hand, lack of sleep impairs our ability to process information to reach correct conclusions. Finally, creativity, despite its need for isolation and solitary thinking. In most cases, however, there are times when a person needs to cooperate with others in order to be creative. Cooperation is very important in the business world, and we add that creativity requires a good leader who is able to integrate different skills and experiences to work together to achieve a specific goal. Chapter V. For creativity. Obstacles fail to appear. Creativity often has killers who prevent it from appearing despite the person feeling the presence of creativity. Inside, he's fighting to get out. The most famous of them is fear of all kinds, such as fear of failure, of losing others' trust in us, or fear of ridicule, just like the writer who is afraid to finish writing the first page of any new idea, for fear that no one will like what he wrote. In this, British inventor James Dyson said creativity is something we can all improve at, as it relates to our daring to learn from our mistakes. The second killer of creativity is rigidity of thinking. There are many things that our minds are programmed to do. We begin to do it without thinking, and the bad thing about this is that when faced with a problem, our mind will automatically search for the answers it already has without thinking about others. And this leads to stagnation in thinking and killing creativity. This has serious drawbacks, including functional constancy, which means using one thing for only one task. Or one employee does only one job, while creative people can use the same thing for several purposes, while linking it to various other things. The third killer of creativity is the pursuit of perfection, but the true creator knows that perfection does not exist, so he will always seek to develop new ideas without thinking whether they are perfect or not, and without caring about how others view him or their satisfaction with them. A notable paragraph from the book. There is creativity in everyday life, so be aware of it. You may not need to glimpse that amazing cloud formation after a storm, or the colors of those amazing sea creatures you saw at an exhibit, or that poetic string of words that were in your head when you woke up, but they are there, supporting you in your daily life, creating awareness of the sources that you use them, and then create your own personal opportunities to do so. Conclusion: creative people are distinguished by their ability to use their imagination and engage with it, by activating the right side of the brain for imagination and creative processes, which will produce unexpected ideas that contribute to increasing the neural connections in the brain, which become stronger the more we practice this process. Creativity is related first to activating mental ability, then to stimulating the psychological and environmental factors surrounding us. The importance of asking many inquisitive questions also contributes to increasing our knowledge of ourselves and our hidden abilities. Even daydreaming and deep dreams during sleep help improve our connection with our subconscious thoughts, which can provide us with various new ideas. And creative, why do we want creativity? Because of its importance in enriching various industries, as happened with B. Marcia Prada, who despite obtaining a doctorate in political science and her interest in acting and theater, created her own creativity when she employed her knowledge in the manufacture of handbags, and this is called creativity.